Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus. Today I want to look at a very interesting passage we find in Exodus chapter 33. Now we're in the days following the Great Rebellion. We've had the incident of the golden calf. Judgment has fallen upon the people of Israel. Order has been restored. Things are returning to normal. And we read something interesting about a habit Moses had that is just fascinating and teaches us so much. I'll read it to you from Exodus 33, verses 7 through 11. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away. He called it the tent of meeting. Anyone who inquired of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrance of their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood, they worshiped, each at the entrance to his tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. This is a fascinating passage. We're told that Moses pitched for himself a tent of meeting, place to meet with God, just outside the camp. Now, this is not the tabernacle. The tabernacle is about to be constructed. Moses had received all those instructions on the mountain. Very soon they are to construct the tabernacle, but not yet. But in the meantime, Moses erects this tent outside the camp that he might meet with God. Others who wanted to inquire of the Lord could go to the tent and inquire of the Lord. When Moses would enter the tent, people watched him. The cloud that represented the presence of God, it would come down and hover over the entrance to the tent. It says God and Moses spoke face to face. It's the Bible's way of describing the intimacy of their relationship and their communion as Moses went into the presence of God. Now Moses needed this, and in truth, we all need it. Moses needed his own personal tent of meeting, place to meet with God. If he was going to lead the people, if he was going to fulfill the mission and help them know who God was, he had to have this personal time with God. He needed his tent of meeting. Now, if Moses needed a tent of meeting, so do we. You need a tent of meeting in your own life. Oftentimes in the church today, we might call it our prayer closet. You can call it whatever you will, but you need a place that you regularly meet with God. Notice the tent was just outside the camp, a little distance away, that he might have some solitude with the Lord. That's what you need. Some time set apart every day to be alone with God, to be in his presence, to pray, to listen to his voice, to read his word, to commune with God. I want you to establish in your life a tent of meeting. Perhaps it may be in the early morning for you. Perhaps it may be in the late evening. Perhaps it's in the middle of the day. It doesn't really matter when it is. Whatever time is best for you, let that be the time. But set aside some time and a place, if you can, for your own personal tent of meeting where you talk with God face to face. Now, we all have this privilege. We do. You remember I told you that in the book of Hebrews, describing the tabernacle, God says that because of what Jesus has done, the veil is torn and we have the right by faith in Jesus to enter the most holy place. That is, you can enter into the very presence of God and talk with him face to face, just as Moses did. You can have your own tent of meeting. Establish that in your life. Do it today. Have your own tent of meeting, a place where every day you meet with God. Just to share a personal word for me, it's in the early morning. That just works best for me. I get up first. I come to my table in my breakfast area. I'm all alone. Fix a cup of coffee. Get my Bible, and I spend time with God. I read his word. I listen to it. I pray. It is my own personal tent of meeting. That's not a tent, I know that. It's a table. It's a breakfast area. But for me, it's the tent of meeting. And this time becomes so important to me every day. You have a similar place and time in your life. It can be any time during the day, whenever it's best for you, but have your own tent of meeting. That you might be with God, that He might have you, speak to you, that you might listen to Him, pray. Oh, do it today. Set aside your own tent of meeting. Moses did it, and we need to follow his example in this. Amen and amen. Hope you have a great day today, and I'll see you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus.